Welcome to States and Kingdoms. Today we're talking about XTC and their Canadian EP, Five Senses. You know what's fun about XTC?
Yeah.
They have awesome covers for all of their singles.
That's
and
one
EPs.
thing. That's one thing. Because it's only 5 songs on this.
Yeah.
So this kind of interesting. I didn't know about this. You didn't know about this.
Yeah, I've never come across this.
And you just found this in a little record store. You knew a couple of songs off of this because they're on the Black Sea. They're bonus singles.
They
Bonus songs on the Black Sea.
added a few of them to the CD, which I have.
Right. That's what you listen to.
Yeah, a lot of the CDs that I got, because I didn't get every XTC album on CD myself. I bought a few things I borrowed, from a library and added to my own collection.
Yeah.
And a few things.
What kind of a library would have XTC?
The Donnell Media Library near Public Library.
Okay. They would.
Very important place for me. A few albums I only got on record, right? So I do know a few of these extras that were added to the Black Sea CD. Long story short, there you go.
A short story long, actually. Yes. Yeah. So you knew a couple. You knew a couple of these, and actual long story short, the Black Sea is the album that got me into XTC.
Yes, finally.
Yeah.
After I tried for so many years.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about this before. I don't know if anyone remembers. I barely remember. I actually listened to XTC before you did.
Allegedly.
No, I did. Do you want receipts?
What you got?
Nothing.
Are you gonna hit me?
It's wrestling. It's a wrestling joke.
I know.
Very good.
Thanks.
I don't know. My tastes being what they were, I just didn't sit as well with me as you would think.
It didn't do it for you.
So it wasn't until the Black Sea that an album really caught me, and I really love that album. It's special because of that, and also it's probably their most, I would say, either guitar forward album. Mm-hmm. There's an awesome guitar sound on that because at that time I think Andy was using. I think he was using like a JMP, a Marshall JMP. You see it live, the combo, and now you never know if they use that in the studio, but it sounds like it.
Yeah. And
so you have that late 70s Marshall sound. It's biting. It's still got
And the way he plays, so angular.
Yeah. It's a really good sound, and I always really loved it. So I mean so this is basically from.
Right there.
Right around that time, except for 2 songs that were earlier.
Yeah.
Although,
Still a cool time period between Go To and Black Sea.
Right. They're all good songs. I don't, honestly, name me a bad XTC song.
I will not, sir.
Or a mediocre XTC song.
Not even.
I know Andy Partridge, there are a couple songs here he has described as the worst they recorded. His standards are extremely high. Well, most bands, if you wrote a song, so the songs that he doesn't like, Officer Blue, which is Colin's song.
Right, which is nice.
And Strange
nice for
Tales.
Him too.
Yes, I know.
To add one of Colin's in the pile of things he doesn't like.
Colin's standards aren't any lower.
No, of course
not.
So
I don't know if he likes that song either. I don't know. It's a really good song.
I actually really like it. They're
really
all catchy.
No, they're always catchy. Yeah.
Super catchy.
And honestly, any musician, any band, with writing those 2 songs would be very pleased with them. I'm sure. But of course, like I said, their standards are really high. Officer Blue and Strange Tales are the 2 songs, and they were recorded earlier.
Right.
Andy thinks so. The worst they ever recorded. No way. Even though.
Don't even try to think.
No, I'm thinking. Are they as good as the songs on Go To or on Black Sea? I mean, that's a matter of opinion. They're good. Maybe they're not as good as those, but they're really good anyway. So I mean, and then you have Smokeless Zone, which is one of the ones that's on Black Sea on Black bonus. Sea. Yes. That's a great song. I really like that song. Mm-hmm. Really, very, very, very good. And another one was Don't Lose Your Temper is also on that.
Don't Lose Your Temper. So yeah, those 2 I'm very familiar with. They're just like part of the album for me.
Yeah, very bouncy XTC song.
Bouncy.
Yeah. And another one of the songs, Wait Till Your Boat Goes Down, was a single that didn't chart very well. You know, Andy expected this to be a big single, and, you know, it wasn't. And when you listen to it, you know, it's just one of those songs, and there are many songs littered throughout rock and roll history that, you know, you really can't understand why it didn't...
Why wasn't it a bigger hit?
Well, strike a more resonating chord with the audience.
I'll never understand why some things become hits and other things don't. I mean, just listen to the radio.
Well, but, you know, it's like it's got a chant kind of a chorus. You know, I mean, it's something that you know, a whole bunch of people could sing together, and that's not actually very typical for XTC, really, I suppose.
Yeah.
You know, it has just a very catchy kind of almost sing-along chorus, and yet it's still very clever. You know, you can, you know, Andy, his vocals, amazing on it.
Yeah, he's
great.
got such a great voice.
You know, I mean, around this time, I mean, so right before English Settlement, it's a really fascinating period of time. I mean, they're right before they stopped touring. You know, that the...
Which was a bad idea.
Well, you know...
I'm sorry, but it was a bad idea.
Well, it didn't help.
No.
As far as, you know, when people don't know who XTC is, I think if they had kept touring, yeah, I think people would know them. Because
also, if you're really good at something, why would you just stop?
Well, take that up with Andy Partridge, will you?
I would. Andy, I'm right here.
Maybe we could serenade you with Pink Thing sometime.
Stop, he's married.
It's a transition period for them, you know, but it's not, how would I say this? No one really cares. A band like XTC should be more renowned.
I'll never understand.
The two songwriters should be way more celebrated. You know, this is such great rock music. You know, there's a real synthesis here. There's really a style that's here. You know, and it's that fantastic thing of pushing things further, but not losing the foundation, really. You know, of still, you know, I mean, like, they're obviously, and it's fine. There are bands that push things further and lose that foundation, and they're still great. But you know, I love that they're still catchy. They're still great melodies.
Yeah, they never got experimental and lost, like, everything that makes a song.
Because, of course,
like the composition of a song.
You know, one of his big influences is Captain Beefheart. And, I mean, that's certainly pushing things. From between, you know, the first album and the second and third Captain Beefheart albums, I mean, he's definitely pushing things past the point of most humans' endurance. And, you know, and I love Tribe Mask Replica, and it's, you know, and after that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, they never went that far. They kept it within, you know...
they kept it within the rock and roll pop music framework.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what it is. And it's fascinating. It's a tricky balance to have, and you know, and they do it so perfectly.
They do.
And you know, right here, I mean, you still have Terry Chambers. I do think that's another thing. We talked about this.
Terry Chambers was a big thing for them.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a great drummer.
After English Settlement, the you never have that just. I don't want to say solid drumming. It's the studio drum is so great, but you don't have a band. You don't have a band member. The drummer
he brought this like really unique rhythmic thing. You know, I mean, there's a lot of songs direct. That, you know...
It's very much more rock.
You think of some early XTC songs, and they've got this, like, extra element.
Yeah.
Gives it a little more...
A good drummer, a lot of times, is not as appreciated, probably, as they ought to be. I mean...
don't I know it.
Can really change a band.
That's true.
But anyway, I really, you know, you still have that.
It was a good time for them. Very good.
Creatively, they're really about to do some, you know, as much as, I mean, Drums and Wires is a perfect album. Black Sea is
well, I mean, they had an awesome
fantastic.
80s.
Yeah, they're about to have a string of albums that
ridiculous
really
albums.
No one had. I mean, maybe, like we've talked about, maybe in America, R.E.M., you know, there's I can't think of another band that just had such, you know, incredible records that were all a little different,
but all
all creative and
classic.
Innovative, and
like
great.
Classic. No, I love talking about XTC. I love listening to XTC.
In itself, I mean, we're sort of talking through this album, but it's, But like you said, actually, their album covers and their singles, their singles covers. When this is an awesome album cover. There's the covers for their singles.
They're beautiful. They're truly beautiful.
Fantastic.
They're works of art. 100%.
It's all fun. There's a lot. It's a lot of fun. The different things that they did on all of their covers.
We have to collect more.
Yeah,
more singles.
I do want to get more of them.
I mean, if I found them, I would obviously buy it.
They're not terribly expensive because, again.
Anyone else talking about XTC? Anyone?
Yeah, no one's really beating down the door for those. They're not terribly expensive. Not really high collector's items.
Yeah. One day.
The main thing was just to have maybe talk about XTC again, because we've talked about almost everything. There are a few things, but no studio albums.
We've done all the studio albums.
And
go back and watch all those videos and have a really good time.
You know what we do? I did read.
Oh, you read?
I did read that the Five Senses title inspired Andy to write Senses working overtime.
That?
Yeah, that.
I have to say it like a moron.
It's fine. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if anything's true. But I did read that.
That makes sense.
And that would be sort of interesting because this isn't terribly common. So I'm sure it's not that easy to find. And really, there's not much reason to find it. Most of these songs are all available elsewhere.
We've been to a lot of record stores, never saw it before.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much for watching our brief discussion of the Five Senses EP by XTC. Let us know what you think of this album in the comments. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to States and Kingdoms, and we'll see you next time.